Hey, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And um, this week's revelation, when I was speaking with Source, was all about trust, faith, and allowing. So, what do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot going on in the world. I bet you knew that. And there's a lot of things that we thought was going to happen that didn't happen. And for other people, things that they thought might happen, were afraid to happen, are happening again. And so there's all this energy. Some people were, especially highly sensitive people, were really like bamboozled with the amount of energy that they were feeling from the collective, especially around the US elections. And that apparently is not over. Um, so trust, faith, and allowing. When we don't have those aspects, then we are in a state of resistance. When we're in a state of resistance, and we're reacting, that's where a lot of our problems as humans start and continue, unfortunately. So when we resist something, it's like, you have to have something to resist. So it's like it's pushing back against you. And that's why when, you're angry at someone or someone's angry at you and you're both angry at each other, that nobody wants to say sorry and resolve it, but oftentimes when one party releases that resistance, then that resistance energy tends to kind of dissipate. So as humans, it is very natural for us to resist what is uncomfortable and what it is we do not want. I get it. I mean, I do work on the resistance piece on a regular basis for myself. And for me, I can tell in my body when that resistance piece occurs because I'll feel kind of a, and it used to be like an everyday phenomenon. I just used to feel like this was just life, the life is a struggle and we have to make things happen, if you don't get what you want, you make it happen so you get what you want, a lot of forcing. And that forcing energy is really old and it gets really old. And if you did it as long as I did and had adrenal fatigue and fibromyalgia and all sorts of things, you can't do it anymore. So resisting is not the way. Reacting is not the way either, because reacting means that you did not set your GPS to where you want to go, and the universe is like, well, where do you want to go? And you're like, I don't know, I'm just driving. The universe is like, okay, where do you want to go? Like, we can't help you, support you, unless you give us a destination. What does your future reality look like, feel like, smell like, like embodied? What is it like? And we're like, nope, just driving. Don't know where we're going, but just drive. Oh, there's a boulder. We're gonna go around it. Stop. Okay, stop. Okay, freeway. All right. Like we're just reacting. And this is not the best way, at least in my experience, to live. And how many of us are taught as children to create our realities through, like, hey, what's your destination? What does it look like, feel like, smell like? I had a friend of mine with, at that point, two little kids. And, she read one of my original ebooks called Creating Your Fairy Tale Love Life, how to harness the law of attraction to manifest your ideal partner. And, she's like, can I use this to like manifest my ideal home? I said, yeah, absolutely, you can. So she actually did with her two kids. They sat down one day and she said, well, let's do an art project. So they said, well, we need a new home. So what do you want in it? Right? So they were talking about how many stories they wanted, and how many bathrooms, and what it would look like, and the color, and what was in the yard. And I don't know if it was her or one of the kids was like, well, I want a stream. And she's like, okay, we'll put a stream in there, thinking, I don't know if it's gonna happen, right? And the amazing thing is like at the same time she's trying to manifest her ideal partner, and come to find out, they had a chance to look at a place um, that they ended up in with a stream in the backyard, pretty much everything that her and the kids had already imagined on paper. And guess what? The owner of the home ended up as her boyfriend. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, so when we're in a place where we've actually set our GPS of our future reality, that is our responsibility. But what about the help? Do we get help? Absolutely, we get help. Absolutely, we get help. So one of the things you can do if you do divine muscle testing is you can ask, how much do I trust the universe? Remember, trust, faith, and allowing. So how much do I trust the universe to co-create the reality I desire? And you can actually get a percentage at 100%. I think when I first tested it, right before I recorded this video, I think it was like 80 something. So I have some work to do. So you can ask, how much do I trust the universe to co-create the reality I desire? What about faith? What question can you ask about that? Well, you can ask, how much faith do I have that whatever is happening right now can be for my highest and greatest good, or can be for our collective highest and greatest good? Because sometimes what we see on the surface, or what we're allowed to see on the surface, is really not what's going on underneath, but we don't get to know what's going on until later. And then it's kind of like hindsight 2020, right? And we're like, oh, that's why that, oh, that made so much, right? So there's so many times that you can look back in your life and go, yep, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. But at the time, you probably hated it. So, how much faith do you have that whatever's happening can be for your highest and greatest good, or for the highest and greatest good of our whole community, our whole world? And then get a percentage out of 100%. And ideally, you want that to be over 95%. And then what about allowing? So what questions can you ask about allowing? And this is a place where of all the different things in terms of law of attraction and manifesting, this was one of the most difficult for me, with allowing, because I was very much a doer. So I would do, and think that my doing was going to cause great positive things to happen. And it did on a certain level, it did, but man, it was a lot of work. And it was just a lot of energy to just focus on the doing. But in allowing, we get to a place of being, and we already set our sights on what it is we wish to manifest, and focus on that and practice that frequency. The universe goes, okay, clear instructions, I got it, okay, let's help you out. Go this way, turn left, turn right, no, stop there, and these signals can be really, really subtle, but the allowing is allowing that help, not only from the universe in terms of guidance, but allowing life to unfold the way it's going to unfold without that excessive control. And I admit it, I am a recovering control freak, as well as a recovering perfectionist, as well as a recovering Catholic. Anyway, lots of recovering, as well as a recovering codependent. So it's three things. So you can ask, if you want to do your divine muscle test, you can ask, how willing am I to allow? How willing am I to allow life to unfold with love? So, or whatever question you wish to ask. And then, okay, so say you don't get over 95% in all three, which would be very normal, not a big deal. So then you're like, well, gee, Dr. Karen, I don't do Cultivating healing. I'm not trained in that. What can I do? Well, here's what you do. You go into stillness. Okay, now the way I teach it is stillness through observing internal movement. And that was actually an exercise that was in the Navigating the Clickety-Clack book that was launched a couple weeks ago, that went to #1 international bestseller. So it's in there. It's also a freebie that you can, take a free class from me, and I'll post that link. So in that space of stillness, guess what? You connect to an automatic healing state. Yeah, that state of being, you being really you, being fully embodied in all your energy and all your glory, you get to be in an automatic healing state. It's free. It's free. So in that place, all you need to do is just focus your attention on these things: trust, faith, and allowing, and just asking the universe, hey, I need some help in this space, right? And just be. Feel the energy running in your body, and just make that intention, and then just feel your body. You know, no fancy directives, no fancy, you know, arm waving, you know, healing, whatever, right? I think you'll find a lot of the time, especially because there's so many details in healing that you may really not need to know about. You just need to be in the state of automatic healing and it'll automatically heal. So try it out, then retest your numbers out of 100%. And if you're courageous and willing, I would love for you to post your pre and post testing numbers below. I'll put the actual question in the description of this video. I would love for you to share if you're willing to share, just by doing the auto healing. You know what that was. Now, of course, if you do know Topican healing, you know, yeah, you can go ahead and do that as well. And just let us know, you know, when you write it down. I did Topican healing, or I did auto healing, or I just did the being state, you know, so we know, you know, what you did. And let's all compare notes. And it's not a big deal if you're like, oh, I didn't get to 95%. It's not a race, you know. Do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, you know. So if we can be in that full trust, faith, and allowing, our whole perspective changes, our whole experience of life changes, and life goes into more of a flow instead of a resistance and a reactionary thing. You know, it goes into this flow. Yes, there's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, but we're still flowing. You know, we're still going towards our ideal reality. The river, the GPS is set, you know. In this case, the GPS is in your boat. But anyway, so, you know, you're going towards where you would like to go. And I know it doesn't always seem like that in the outside world, but that's where that trust comes in. That's where that faith comes in, right? Yeah, so that's the message for this week in the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And I do have some announcements coming up Monday on the Light Warrior Radio at 12 noon Eastern. I will be interviewing James Sinclair, and he is from the movie called Grand Self Movie. And it's all about how our limiting beliefs has created a false self-image, if you will. Like many of us, myself included, just discovered recently who I really am, you know? And so there's so many of us, thousands and thousands, millions and millions of us that have a false sense of self because we have all these limiting, you know, beliefs about ourselves. And there's some really amazing, you know, people in this movie, including my co-author from the Navigating the Clickety Clack book, Bob Proctor, and he is such a dear. I love that man. So he is, you know, in that movie as well. So it's a great opportunity to, you know, if you would like to hop in live to ask James Sinclair some questions about the movie, I highly encourage you to watch the movie, check it out for yourself, see if it resonates with you. So that is Monday at 12 noon Eastern. And then the other announcement I want to make is if you did purchase the Navigating the Clickety Clack book, there are a few days left for you to actually do a review on Amazon and submit it to us and be in on a free group healing class. The last time we did this for the last book launch, we had about 52 people and we had such a blast. So what happens is that, you know, people come in and we ask you, like, what is like the number one thing that's bothering you? Like, what, if you want, it had a magic wand, you want to heal something, what is that one thing that you really could use support and help around, right? Then what I do is I go and we have everybody go into the auto healing state. And then I do Topican healing on each person. And it's a mini healing. Okay, it's not like everything in your life, but it's a mini healing. And anything that resonates with a person that maybe it's not their stuff, but they're hearing what's going on for that person, they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I have that too, you know. So what happens is that whatever resonates with you, whatever is also healable in you will heal as well. And that's why it's a group healing, and that's why you not just get your own individual healing, but you get a group healing. So space is limited for that, and we do still have some space. So if you would like to submit a review, and what you don't have to read the whole book, just you know, randomly pick like a couple of chapters, digest that information, feel what it did for you, you know, and then write an honest review on Amazon. And then, you know, just in this link that we'll give you below this video, you can submit your review and your name and email, right? So then we can register you for that free class, and that's going to be Wednesday, November 25th at, I believe, 12 noon Eastern. So it's day before Thanksgiving in the US. And so we will be able to do some mini healings. And like I said, last time was really, really fun and super popular. We just had a blast. So I hope that you can be in on that class with me. And last but not least, I would love for you to register for the Sensitivity is Your Superpower book launch party and transformational telepathy workshop. Yes, we're doing a party and a workshop all in one. I'm a high achiever. What can I say? So that is coming up. Is going to be on book launch day for that book, Sensitivity is Your Superpower. So that is my solo book, meaning it's the book that I wrote solo. And you know what people think, oh, this is my crowning achievement. Well, this is my crowning achievement for, so far, because I'm so passionate about helping highly sensitive people, which are at least 30% of us, to really harness that sensitivity as a superpower. So you can, so you can do telepathy, so you can do remote healing, so you can do, well, actually be and do lots of amazing things, including like creating your new reality. Anyway, I can go on. So anyway, I'm really excited for that. So that's going to be December 10th. So December 10th is coming up pretty soon. And the party, book launch party and workshop is at 1 p.m. Eastern. And so what you want to do is just register for that. And we have, space for, I think, 5,000 people. So feel free to please share the link. Please share the link, share the love, share the link. And there we'll be showing you, at the book launch party, how to get access to some amazing gifts that we have prepared for you from myself and many of my colleagues and friends in the healing space. And I'm actually going to be giving away some self-healing programs as well. So if you join us for that book launch, I'd be really, really grateful for you being there and sharing that good news with everyone that you know who you think would resonate with it. And don't buy the book before that date. We do, it's a technique. We do want to make it a #1 bestseller internationally. And so that's one of the reasons that we do the book launch, so that people can buy the book during the book launch. Now, if you're in Australia or someplace where, the time zone is kind of wonky, 1 a.m. in the morning, whatever, you don't have to, be up or be available then. You just buy it at some point in that 24-hour period. It's still, highly valuable. And we'd love to have it as a #1 international bestseller, just like the last book, so that we can put that message out there that us sensitive souls are not crazy. We're not weirdos. We have gifts. Everybody has gifts. And instead of medicating these gifts because they're out of control, whether it be for our children or for ourselves, we can harness these gifts and make our lives better and those around us as well. So I'm super passionate about that. So I hope you help me spread the word. Join the book launch party, share that link, and get some prizes and some gifts. All right, I'll put that link in the video, and I look forward to speaking with you next week on the next Spiritual Medicine Digest. Thank you so much for joining me. Lots of love to you. Bye for now.